All right, we're back to doing Zen One podcast, which we haven't done in a while. So, and to come back to the proper way of doing podcasts, I had to invite you to talk about the fun stuff, unfiltered. I know you're gonna always give the most honest, the way it is, feedback on what's going on. And so, by the way, for those that don't know, this is Ayrat, Cedar Park Dental Wellness, one of my great friends and good partner. One of the early pioneers of Zen 1, helping us to launch the new product. So I really wanted to chat, see where we at, have a conversation about where's dentistry in 2024 as we start the year. A month has gone by pretty quickly. And so let's just roll. Let's see. I'm curious. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you?
Really good. I'm excited to be back.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on Zen 1 podcast. And hello, everyone. So where do we start?
Let's start. The January is always a good month because we all have expectations. We all think how we want to start the year. Either we set the goals, don't set the goals on the way to work. Now it's a short commute for you, but still, I'm pretty sure you think about how you want the 2024 to look like compared to 2023. So what I'm curious is, first, take us through your 2023. What is it something that you did that put the foundation for the 2024?
That's a good question. Nothing. We did nothing. We just never really thought of next year. Just went with what we were working, just general, bigger goal, I guess. That would be growing the practice, adding more chairs, eventually training the staff. That's a big thing. Big difference. So we started in 2021 as a startup, and startups are hard, apparently. That's what we learned. And, starting from scratch, you have to learn a lot of stuff, but then all your team has to learn a lot of stuff. So now we finally, 2023 came, the realization came that the importance of trained staff, we just finally felt kind of like the work felt easy because the staff was trained, and now we're hiring more staff, and some of the older staff moving up, and we have to train more people. We weren't able to find associate dentist yet, so that's the probably goal for 2024, but I don't know where to start.
Where to start looking?
Yeah, I mean, we've been looking, we've been interviewing, and it's just tough to find someone because we went completely fee for service. That's another thing actually happened.
When did you do that?
In 2023.
That's
actually.
where I wanted to go, and that's where I wanted to
Okay.
disagree with you. That
Okay.
when you said nothing, I'm like, I got one card in my pocket to pull it out when you're ready.
Yeah, no, I already forgot about this. Today I had a tough conversation with the patient, actually. She went through a treatment, and we presented treatment plan and everything. She actually works for one of the insurance companies. So that's why I never thought of kind of like talking to her about the insurance. After she got the root canal done and ready for her crown, she brought up that, how come you guys, out of network? You never told me. But we presented the treatment plan. We gave her all the, finances and everything up front. But it happens sometimes. Probably the first time since we went out of network, somebody was really bringing it up because we try to be upfront. I can talk the whole strategy, how to go out of network, how to talk to how to phrase.
Yeah, but how did it feel like actually doing it?
Scary a little bit, but then you go out of network with we went out of network with Delta, so we kind of thought maybe that's the one we should.
How worse can that get, right?
Yeah, so that wasn't that bad. And when we started thinking of the next insurance company to go out of network, we start calling them, and then apparently we were under umbrella, and how it works with umbrella, you cannot just pick and choose. So you only can be out of network with so many, to the point where they're going to tell you, if you want to be you have to be out of network complete, like with all of them. At that point, we're like, screw it. Let's just be out of network completely.
Out of that whole umbrella.
Yeah, whole umbrella.
Okay.
And then we went out of both umbrellas, Zealous and what's the other one? Forgot. So pretty much.
So how did it feel? Like you pulled out of the network, and then what? The next day, is your schedule empty?
No.
Was it?
What happens when you go out of network? I guess for startups, if that's your plan, it is scary, but I think sooner you do it better, because you're not as dependent on the insurance, motivated people. So, but still, like, depending what do you want to do. So, procedures, what type of procedures you're going to do, that's important. So if you're based on hygiene schedule like fell apart. If it's all you do, mainly hygiene, then probably not worth it to be out of network, because hygiene is struggling. So it was like kind of like a honeymoon phase where people weren't like realizing we're out of network, or there still was busy season or something. We didn't feel like right now, like we have 2 days out of a week where we struggling to get hygiene patients. We have over 3,000 patients in database, and out of those patients, we cannot say they're all active, because if that was the fact, then we would have been busy.
Right. Yeah. So what keeps you up at night? Now it's January. Like, what do you think about the most?
I sleep like a baby. Nothing. Just, I'm not that, I guess, responsible in analyzing stuff, but just what motivates is going to be the growth, like finding that perfect associate. And that's different story. Like associates, man, it's like, so the doctor does her stuff, and people come here for the doctor. People know her work. People read reviews, and they have certain expectations, especially being out of network. Like they have high expectations. And when it comes to bring associate fresh off the school, sorry guys, those that fresh off the school, you guys have no skills. I can do better treatment planning than any dentist from, finished the school. I can read better x-rays. I'm not a dentist. It's just me looking at treatment plans every day, reading the looking at the x-rays and stuff like that. I'm not qualified at all, but you guys gotta train better, and then spend time, train, go to busy offices, go to HMO driven offices, go outside the big city. People apply here in Austin. Yeah, it's a nice lifestyle, I'm sure, but you're not going to make money. You're not going to have enough patients. You're not going to be able to do the type of procedures that are going to really teach you. So
finding the associate is going to be one of your big things.
Yeah.
But I also want to go back to 2023. You started marketing, and you were showing all the videos that you guys are creating, and you hired a marketing team. So what's going on there?
That's a little secret I didn't want to give up ahead of time, but it's okay. But I'll share with you on the podcast.
Okay, we won't tell anybody.
Okay, so we hired a social media manager. So I don't know how many of dental offices have dedicated social media managers. I'm sure. Many. Yeah, not that many. I'm sure there are some like with a lot of followers and stuff. A lot of times you see those dentists dancing for TikTok and have a lot of followers, and they probably have someone editing. I don't know if it's outsourced or someone like a assistant. But we went completely posted an ad on Indeed, found a social media manager, and right away hired another one, kind of like helper. And yeah, we're trying this thing. There's not that many followers. It's not that this thing, when we wanted to try this, one thing you have to realize, it's not going to bring the result. Probably like not going to bring a result for a while. So you have to stick with this. So we've been doing this for like maybe 3 months. Still cannot tell you if it's a success or not.
What's your commitment length? Like how much?
A year.
For a year, for 12 months. Okay, so.
I want to do
And
it.
how are you going to planning? How would you evaluate this in 6 months? What's going to be your conversation with the team?
How I would know if it works, I think that's a question I can answer. We will have more followers. We'll have more people calling us, telling us, hey, we've been following you for a while, and we really like what you guys do. So that's what I want to hear every time I get a call from a new patient. And that's what I'm looking for. I don't get that yet. We've had a couple random calls where people say, oh, we followed you on TikTok or Instagram, but not that many. So we're pushing some ads, trying some ad strategies, which honestly I don't have time to, I know they could be better. I don't have time to like dial them up to the point where they're really good. I feel like we're wasting a lot of money on useless ads, but this is something we need to work on. Yeah.
It's interesting. It seems like you got a good combination of struggles and wins. So just like any business, I'm happy that you're not hiding those. So like there are some goods, there are bads. Bads in a way of, empty schedules and, the marketing that's not necessarily working. Is there anything that you have right now that from a marketing standpoint that works for sure, that if you do it, it's going to work?
Emergencies. It feels like patients in pain, they don't have that much options, especially like when it comes to the weekends, late nights, Friday after 12. So nobody will answer the call. Nobody will put you on schedule. So if you run the ads, willing to stay open those hours, answer the phone, that will work. And, I think it's market dependent too. There's a lot of people in Austin and it's growing. I don't think like enough qualified dentists that can do the work. And then when it comes to specialties, oral surgeons, endodontist, those are booked out usually.
And you have to wait.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to get in on a schedule.
Yeah, and people like regular people, they don't know, they can call them directly. They're usually looking for a dental office to go in first.
Like a general.
Yeah.
To get referred. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we've talked a little bit about insurance that you guys are leaving. Another thing that I've noticed is you started delegating a lot more.
Delegating, yes. I think you get to the point where you like burned out and certain things don't excite you anymore, or you want to do the stuff that matters and you're just trying to find a way to delegate stuff. And I cannot tell you that I'm super effective in this. I'm just, it's kind of, you put yourself in that situation where you have no choice.
Yeah.
Because,
yeah,
you could micromanage yourself to the death.
Yeah. You know how I noticed? So when I walk around the office, I see the checklists. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how it happened, but I think one of the newer sterile techs that you hired. Mm-hmm. So, and then I think somebody took the lead on the team to start working on the checklist, printed, laminated. Mm-hmm. So what was like the spark for that? How did that happen?
Within the team?
Yeah. Did somebody raise the hand, like said, I'm going to do it? Or you you picked the person, you said, now you're in charge?
To be honest, I haven't even talked to anyone. This is something you just told me I never even knew until you told me right now. So
about the checklists?
Yeah. I mean, we had checklists, but I don't think they were implementing them very well. But I think, we have a couple like dental assistants that are really good. And we're just... Like
seasoned. They understand. They know how to read the schedule, plan ahead of time, because I can see that. And so a lot of times what I see when I walk by, they have the printed checklist with names. They scratch things on it or write things on it. And then it could be a procedure, how to set up the trays. And I saw that you guys going with some of the Zerk stuff, like the trays. So my point is, I think what you're trying to do, maybe intentionally or not intentionally, is like as growth happens, you're trying to put as many systems as possible, because, with the right systems, you can bring the right people. With bringing the right people, you can actually start kind of like worrying less about things that are minor. Like it's all systems that take care of things. Am I right? Am I picking the right stuff or?
Yeah, again, we're talking about I only can talk about the startup perspective, because first you start, you're scared of everything. You don't know how the business is going to be, if you're making the right choice, hiring the people or firing the people or buying certain equipment, supplies, going for more expensive or less expensive, always doubting yourself. Once, schedule gets busy, once, you start doing some production, it's easier to make the right choices without doubting, or even wrong choices, but less doubting, I guess.
Right.
And then, system is, you get to the point, like what I came to realize right now, or a little while ago, that those that prepare to get their own office, to start their own office, they listen to those really successful dental offices, that like coaches and stuff. Everyone talks about how system is important. You need to system for this, for that. And when you're a startup, don't spend time trying to make that system, because you have nothing. So just get going, and then, think about this, but don't overwhelm yourself. Nothing's going to be perfect, but after a certain period of time, commitment is everything. So after a certain period of time, you start building those systems. Just don't give up. Be interested in what you're doing. This is important. And systems, you want to make your life easier. And then we can, talk about the systems, about, all the supplies, hiring. I think you always have to be hiring. That's another thing, is if you're looking for someone, have your Indeed ad going. Always interview people.
Right. I think one thing that I've learned from you, watching you do this thing, especially the last year, is you opened 2021, right? So you've been open for 2 years now.
Going on the third, yes.
Yeah. So even after 2 years, you're still not afraid to knock out the shelves, put in new shelves, change stuff around, put new tip-up bins. So I'll do a little video walkthrough, and I'll include it in the podcast here. But what I keep telling now to people I work with, especially startups, I basically tell them, just be ready that in the next 2 years, you're constantly going to move things. Don't try to find a perfect spot for shelf for gloves or tip-up bins for your sutures. Just don't worry about it. Throw it anywhere. As you work, you'll realize, you're probably going to have 1,000 holes in the wall. Just put one of those panels, cover it up, and you're good to go. So, and I think a lot of people just spend too much time overthinking things ahead of time, when there's not a perfect system that works for every single office. There's going to be something that you want in this place, something in that place. And I think you're also good at learning. I would go to an office and we would put these lab cases in the bags, in the clear bags, so you don't have to carry all these huge boxes anymore. And so you would do this right away. You would go on Amazon, buy the rod, put them in, and now hang all these lab cases. And so it's not even a question. I hope it's the right observation that you're going to continue to improve the practice, improve your efficiency within an office. And you just never stop, right? So I assume it's a never ending thing. And the more you find out, you don't have any fears to just come back and completely redo your sterilization if you find a better way of doing things or a more efficient way of doing things.
Yes. So the thing is, you said, don't overcomplicate. If you're going to do this, So don't overcomplicate. Prepare that everything is going to change. And what that means is don't create extra obstacles. So
And overcomplicating is one of the obstacles.
yeah, because one of the things, like, we build this station for the CEREC, to put our CEREC. Right now, I think we kind of over-engineered it a little bit. I could have done it a little bit differently. Now that's the obstacle. But having open shelving is the easiest thing. So open shelving gives you so much flexibility. So you're not stuck to, you raise the shelf, you remove it, you cut it short. It's easy change.
Yeah.
Those things that.
Let me ask you one thing, and before we wrap up, we're going to keep it short today. Imagine you're 10 or 12 or 15 years in business. Are you still going to have the same mindset? Like, are you still going to go to a conference and let's just say somebody comes up with a new something and you're just like, wow, this is going to make us so much better. Would you still be able to come back to the practice, tear things apart and put a new thing in?
I think so. Why not? That's what, like, as long as the business is good, it's all about. You have to have fun. You have to love what you do. If at some point it's just,
I don't think it's just about fun or love what you do. I think it's also having that mindset of never-ending improvement cycle.
But I mean, that's what keeps us going and excite us about, dentistry is business for me because I'm not a dentist. So my wife loves the dentistry. So she's a clinician. So what excites her is, doing good clinical work and being able to use latest, greatest innovations,
best materials,
best technology. And she, analyzes constantly. Like, she looks at what makes her better, her patients, treatment outcomes better. And for me, it's just the same thing.
The business side of it.
Business side of it. I cannot tell you that I'm like all about business and graphics and stuff like that. I like to see the improvement on the treatment outcomes too. This is what's awesome about dentistry. So you can make the decision, especially when you have your own office. You can make the decision, you're flexible, And talking about this change on the fly, today we did one big thing. So I got criticized by our social media manager, who mentioned that it takes too long for the call to go through because we have automatic greeting and stuff. And I completely removed that automatic greeting because I kind of thought about this. Maybe that's kind of extra obstacle. And I don't think people really need to hear how great we are on the pre-recorded every time they call
So
us.
just go straight to somebody to pick up the phone.
Yes.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that.
I had that before. We had this before for about half a year. We had this greeting. Now I'm like, maybe we shouldn't really.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really hope that the takeaways are constantly examine your business, right? And for some people, it's stressful. And especially I think it's a combination when you don't have a combination of like a doctor, business manager, like a spouse, right? Most of the private practice I work with, there's that combination where the spouse is involved, and it's always a killer strategy. It's always awesome. I don't know the personal side of things, how much it affects. It's a separate podcast. But from a business standpoint, there's nothing better than having your spouse helping you out and working together. So let's do another one later. Okay. But this is just a good start to kick things off, and hopefully I'll bring you back again.
Okay.
Thanks, Ayrat.
Thank you.
Yeah.